Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, Dee Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
What? It's Friday. It's Friday somewhere, and it's time for the Voiceover Now podcast. Welcome. Come on in. I'm your host, Dee Foster III, CEO and President of Wake Up Global Networks International, and I want to say welcome to another show. It's going to be a dynamic, close up front show, so you want to get ready. Listen, you know the spiel at the beginning. I want you to like, I want you to share, I want you to put the link of this show in your contacts. I want you to hit the subscribe button. I want you to push this channel. Yo, I'm telling you, I want you to push this channel up in the algorithms so that more content, so it lets YouTube know people that people want more of this. People want more conscious, not foolery, not buffoonery, but more conscious content. So hit the subscribe button. Shout out to CEO and owner operator April J. Thank you so much for allowing us and other shows like this to have a voice on your platform. We want to say thank you and shout out to Pastor Maple Hall, her mother. At the beginning of the show, I want to remind you, go to our website for all the information, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. And I want you to follow us on our social media platforms so that you can know what we are doing. You are invited to our Sunday growth sessions. All of that information is on the website if you can handle it. I want you right now to prepare. Have you been Sunday morning to the Voice of Hope Connection? Listen, it's so much craziness going on. It's so much stuff going on. We always say you can't predict what's going to happen during the week. And ain't that true now than never before? The one thing we can predict is that there is a word from God to get us through the week. And that happens 7 o'clock, the live drop every Sunday morning right here on WPB. And if you can't make that, you can be a part of the replay crew and watch it and share it and like it. And again, subscribe to the channel, press the like, press the share, do everything, do all of them buttons so that you can push this station, this channel, this network to the front. Amen and amen again. I want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for your share. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? He wouldn't do what Bishop. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. I want to say thank you for all your comments on that. Some of you agreed, some of you didn't. I'm open to it. Hey, that's why I love this show. On this show, we don't tell you what to think. We just put it out there like today, straight, so that you can come to your own conclusion. We want informed, intelligent people that can think and maneuver and move for themselves. All right, let me see. What else do I want to say here? I don't think I want to say that much more. Lot going on, but again, I don't want to mention all of that. Go to the website for all of our information. You say, what's going on? No, it's no technical malfunction. I'm waiting for some of you to turn the channel. Huh? Yeah, I'm waiting for some of you to turn the channel because the context and the content of this show is going to be so real. I don't think most people will be able to handle it. I'm just waiting for some of you to turn the channel. Only the real ones stay. Seriously, I'm very serious. And you're about to see my tone and my tenor shift. That's how serious I am. All right? You good? You good? All right, today is going to be a little different. You know, I always pride you in bringing variety. I want to put a few disclaimers out before the show today. This show is not because of any personal beef I'm having. And I am not a proponent of being silent when innocent people are being victimized. Now, all of that will make sense in a few minutes, but I had to put those disclaimers out so when I really start chewing on the meat, you won't claim that I have a personal beef with anybody or that I condone silence when people are being victimized, okay? I've been wanting to speak on this for a long time. Again, this podcast is multidimensional, multifaceted. I never want every show to look like the last show. Sometimes I have guests, but I don't necessarily need guests. Guests are an additive. I make up this show. I study, I'm well-breast, I know how to articulate, I know how to disseminate information. So guests are an additive. But I like having guests because it gives another perspective. As long as they are enthusiastic and energetic like me. I don't like dry guests where you have to pull. You ever had, some guests you have to pull everything out of them? Exhausting. But anyway, I've been wanting to do this show for about a year. This show piggybacks on one of our introductory shows for this podcast, which we are almost celebrating actually a year with the VoiceOver Now podcast. Give it up, give it up. Some of you have never sown a seed. The QR code is on the screen and how you can be a blessing. Okay? Just keeping it real. But we've made it a year. It hasn't always been easy. It's sacrificial. And because I am a perfectionist, I am very careful about the topics. Oh, I have to be very informed. And to me, the topics have to be very relevant and educational and fun, right? But I've been wanting to do this as a follow-up on something that I said on one of the first introductory podcasts that our executive assistant, Kiara Riley, interviewed me. And she asked the question. She said, "What is your life's mantra?" And if you remember, I said, I don't really have a favorite saying, but I have a favorite, or I live by a code of ethic. And that is loyalty. How many of you remember that? Because it was a very controversial statement. And she went on to ask me about loyalty, and I said, to the point, this looks gray in the camera, but it's actually blue, dark blue, light blue. Anyway, I'm going to keep it on. I said, once you are disloyal, there is no coming back with me. You remember that? If not, go look at that interview. Because I'm sure my honesty, that's why I said it's straight, no chaser. Get your favorite drink. It's Friday. I want you to share this for the real people and for the people that have been betrayed and for the people that need to understand the content and the context of betrayal, right? Everybody goes through it, but everybody handles it different and everybody processes it different. I said there's no coming back, and I've lived that true to form. And I said because many things can be said about me. Some true, some are a lie. But no one can truly say that I have been disloyal. Now, let me define that. The title of this is Why I Said What I Said. Come on, get comfy. Why I Said What I Said. That's the title. Nobody can say I've been disloyal. Now, people may say that I've not always been committed to them after certain events. Of course, people don't tell you the events. But all of my life, I have walked away in silence out of many deep, close relationships. Stuff blew up, right? But I never left to reveal everything that I know. Because to me, that's damn, that's why I waited for some of y'all to leave. Disloyalty. And I said in that interview, there is no excuse for disloyalty. If it's that bad, break with silence. Unless, that's why I did the disclaimer, there's been abuse, some kind of victimization, some kind of real illegal. Okay, I get that. I get it. But just out of the dismantlement of a relationship gone bad and you were up close, because there's a whole lot of stuff going on right now on the internet, and a certain people are spilling their guts after the relationship went bad, and I think it's a itch-like move. That's why I waited for some of y'all to leave, because this is going to be personal. This is going to be up close. And like I said, I ain't in no beef. I think it's a itch-like move when you have been in the personal space of someone and they trusted you. Now, I'm not saying like this, share this to the right people, that you should stay in anything toxic. That is not what I'm saying. I am not saying that all relationships work out. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when you have had the privilege of that relationship, and when you have eaten off of that relationship, and when you have gotten the benefits of that relationship, and when you have been close and upfront and trusted with certain information and trusted with certain spaces, and it goes wrong between the 2, 3 of you for you to leave and to reveal everything without merit. There's no need to reveal this. There was no crime committed. There was no child molestation. There was no abuse. There was no theft. There was nothing illegalities that took place. It's just two people you just parted ways. It went south. And for you to leave, and this is personal to me, for you to leave and then reveal in public everything you saw, heard, know is a unexcusable, unforgivable like move in D. Foster 3's opinion. And I will hold that until my last breath. That's why I said there are plenty of relationships that I've been in and been up close and could implode the world on what I've seen, heard, and know for a fact, not alleged. But would I be that kind of itch? Huh? Because to me, it holds an issue of my integrity in question. Okay, it didn't work out. I'm fine with that. You did some stuff I ain't like. I'm fine with that. This ain't gonna work. I'm fine with that. F you. I'm fine with that. But the man, integral part of me says, and I practice it, and I've practiced it, and some of you have, time and time again. I didn't say it was the easiest thing. to roll out with your mouth shut. At least stay loyal to what you had. So why is it lately? Put your comments in the chat. You may not agree with me that now when people find out that people are not who they thought they were, nobody is who we think they are from afar. You only find out who people really are up close. Are y'all like this? Share this. This is really from my heart. This is up close, in front, right? This is me and you. D Foster 3, I ain't talking about no stuff. This D Foster 3 right here, in you and me talking. They weren't who I thought they. Stop tripping. The reality is nobody is who we thought they were until you get up close. And because everybody is a human being, the closer you get, the more flaws you're going to see. Now, that's why you have to determine if you can have. That's why Jesus said, watch this. I'm going to get into something else Jesus said. I'm going to get into how Jesus dealt with Judas for all you people who think that was a statement of unforgiveness that I gave on that podcast. I got you. I'll be right with you. Hold up. Don't go nowhere. You don't go nowhere, right? So anyway, like this, share this, follow, share this. So anyway, that's why Jesus said, the Bible said he gave himself to no man because he knew what was in them. In other words, if I give myself to you, the real me, you cannot handle the real me. I can't trust you with the real me. This is why I really don't buy into, and it may be a fact, but I really don't buy into or necessarily embrace the fact you got to trust somebody. Yeah, you trust God, no man. Trust God. I used to love it. A guy named Apostle Louis Greenup, that was his favorite saying. He said, Bishop, you got to trust God and no, N-O-K-N-O-W, no man. Now, there are people that we trust. There are people that we have to trust. But we trust God. That's why, because the reality is that people have a struggle handling the real you. They rather the masked you. People, they prefer the mask. We're talking about be real. People don't prefer you being real. Because when people see you real, it shatters their self-indulged image of who you were. Not that you came off as that, but this is who they want you to be. And if you become real, you shatter that. And I cannot bear the trauma of you shattering my image of who I think you are. So why don't you come out and be fake and put on a mask and be who I hope you are. And I would appreciate that. But don't ever show me who you really, really are. Because then once I find out that who you really, really are, right? Who you really, really are, then I become hurt. I become disappointed. I become traumatized. And I got to be disloyal and tell everybody they ain't what they appear to be. Who the hell is? Like this. Told you. That's why I left the door open. You want me to open the door again so some of you can leave? Or some people can come in? All right. The door's open. Some are leaving. Some are entering. All right. If you're just coming in, welcome. If you're gone, bye. Anyway. So when I said that, you can't come back because it's called broken trust. See, relationships ain't about love. It's trust. I can love you from afar, but it's my trust in you that brings you close, not my love for you. Because I can love you and you can hurt me. You can love me and hurt me, but it's my trust. So the reason that I said you cannot recover from that is because I no longer, ever will trust you. I didn't say I didn't love you, and I'm going to do that from afar, because you'll never get a chance to do that again. Some of y'all good Christians, saved, sanctified, and stupefied, let people stab you in the back, I said it, stupefied, betray you, dog you out, and then you go to church and have a come to Jesus moment and hear somebody preach about forgiveness, and you go and re-embrace them and give them the same opportunity to do it all over again, and you wonder why. Because you were saved, sanctified, and stupefied. There's certain people, you have to love them from afar. So I didn't say I didn't love people if they betrayed me. I just said you'll never get a chance to do it again, because there will be no space for you in my space. I didn't say I didn't forgive. I won't forget. Oh, forgiving is part of forget. Is it? Come on, be real. Stop the cliches. Drop the cliches. Certain things you will never forget in life, but you have forgiven, you are healed, and you're moving on, but you will never forget, because to forget means you could repeat that again. Just down with the cliches, the dumb, stupid cliches that people have been saying for years and years. Thumbs down. Not on the channel. Not on the channel. Thumbs down on the dumb cliches. I want to hear your comments. I want to see your comments. Anyway, y'all still here? I told you this is going to be straight, no chaser. We're talking about why I said what I said, and I said what I said. So I always use Jesus as my example. Not the Bible. I use Jesus as my example. Now, how would Jesus handle betrayal? Okay? Judas. Everybody, Judas. I mean, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you atheist, whether you agnostic, most people are familiar with the story of the historical or the biblical story of Judas. We know one thing we know about Judas. Everybody knows, because I've never met a person named Judas. Nobody names their son or daughter Judas, because Judas is synonymous with the historic Benedict Arnold. Traitor. Nobody says, I want to name my son Benedict Arnold Jones. Nobody says, I want to name my nephew, you should name your nephew Susie Benedict Arnold. No. Nobody wants to name their seed after a traitor. So I think most people know that Judas was a traitor, because nobody is named Judas. People are named Peter. People are named Paul. People are named Silas. People are named Bartholomew. But nobody is named Judas. Why? Because Judas has a legacy of being a traitor. And every traitor, every betrayal should have a legacy of being known as that. So when you mention that name, they're like, watch out, they will betray you. They will betray you. That's what Timothy said. That's what Paul said. He said, old boy has left me because he loves this present world. And I'll get into that later. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Like this, share this, subscribe. So Jesus is my example. So Jesus, everybody will have a betrayal. It's how you handle it. Everybody, long as you're not the betrayee. Long as you're not the betrayee. See, I always say, when you're loyal, even when the relationship breaks up, there are certain things you should take to your grave. Just because the relationship is over doesn't give you permission to reveal the secrets or the information that you gathered during the relationship. You gathered it in confidence. They gave it to you in confidence. They gave it to you believing you would keep it. They gave it to you believing in you. They gave it to you because they believe you had some kind of integrity to withhold it. Like, share, subscribe. Judas betrays Jesus. So here's what we preach. Here's what y'all preach. Okay? I don't deal with that foolery. Well, Jesus had to be betrayed by somebody. Yeah, I mean, to get to his destiny. I agree. But Jesus says, woe to the one who does it. Oh yeah, I got to be betrayed. But that ain't taking the penalty and the curse off of the one who does it. So don't give me that. Oh yeah, Jesus had to, Jesus had to be betrayed. You got to be betrayed. It'll pull you to your death, all that stuff. And while that may be true, it does not exonerate the betrayer. So don't even use that to try to get the betrayer off the hook. You're still a betrayer. Now, here's what I like about Jesus. And I get this from Jesus. Why can you never come back from me? Because Judas could never come back to Jesus. Judas was one of Jesus' 12 disciples. Jesus was in the garden with Jesus. Jesus trusted, though he knew he would betray him, but still, Jesus trusted Judas. Judas was in the garden. Judas was at the upper room. He even had the fake hypocrisy when Jesus said, one of you who dips this bread will betray me. And he was one of the fake ones. Lord, is it I? Knowing it was him. See, all of that church foolery, fakery stuff, right? So, what? Enemies at the same table. That's what I'm talking about. Enemies at the same table. Follow me. Come in. I'm not going to open the door no more. Should I open the doors? Open the doors of the church one more time, because some of this is too real and too raw for some of y'all. And then let some new members in. Welcome. The rest of y'all, bye. Go to church down the street. So anyway, Judas betrays Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Jesus knows this. He says, because he told him, whatever you're going to do it quickly. So Jesus is betrayed. He's sold. You know the story. Bible says Judas, out of guilt, wanted to give the people the money back. But they wouldn't take it. It's blood money. Because once you betray, this is where I got my statement from in that interview, it's no going back. I mean, you can repent, you can feel sorry, you can ask for forgiveness and get all that. But it's no going back to the way things make it like it was, the way we used to be. There ain't no such thing. You destroyed the relationship, whatever. Judas had remorse. That's nice. You betray somebody, then you feel bad about it. The damage is already done. That's nice. You have a conscience, or you have guilt, because there is a difference. They wouldn't take the money because it's blood money. There is blood on Judas' hand. So there's no going back. My point exactly. The damage is already done. The trust is broken. And watch this. Because Judas could not get a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? He couldn't get a sense of being fulfilled, that everything he had done was kind of smoothed over, and he offered to give the money back, and he felt bad because he could never get relieved of the guilt. That's what I want to say. He could never really and betrayers never really get relieved of the guilt. That's why it becomes a war against himself. Even when the betrayed has moved on, it becomes a war within themselves, because one thing you can't run from is your conscience. And the Bible says that Judas' bowels gushed out. He killed himself. Now, I know, and no disparage on people who unalive themselves for the sake of this channel. I'll say unalive. For the YouTube algorithms won't take this video down. But Judas unalives himself. Now, under normal circumstances, when that happens, it's very sad. We have an epidemic of that in our country, and we have to fix that with mental health and some other things. But that's a whole nother subject that perhaps we'll get into and have some guests to talk about that, because and so I'm not downplaying it. That's a very, very real reality in our nation today, especially among teenagers and young adults. But in Judas' case, I'm dealing with in a box. Okay, I'm isolating Judas's case. You don't see a lot of people run. You don't even hear Judas getting a burial. Because Judas was a betrayer. And what they did was, at some point, they said, okay, Judas is dead. Let's draw lots and see who will replace Judas. And Judas dies with a legacy. That's why we're talking about him in the context of this podcast, of a betrayer. Lack of integrity, lack of honor. It's one thing for you to know stuff, but to take what you know, and betrayal looks different. Some betrayal is what people say, some betrayal is what people don't say, some betrayal is what people do, some betrayals is what people don't do. This betrayal is what Judas did and what Judas did not do. Now, Peter denied Jesus. That's different. I don't know him. So someone say, oh, I don't know D. Foster 3. That ain't necessarily betrayal. That's just pure cowardness. And when Jesus rose, he went to look for Peter because he knew Peter's heart was right. But a betrayer of yours heart is never right towards you. It's one of the most cowardly acts. Because I figure, like, a lot of this beef that's going on the internet, with people leaving prior leaders and all that foolishness that I don't get into. But I mean, I figure if you have a problem, you go to them and you help resolve it and you talk about it and you go your own way. I mean, but here was my struggle with a lot of these people that betray. You had no problem when you were living off the lagniappe, when you were enjoying the benefits of the people that you're betraying there, when you were using their money, when you even dressed different. You know why? Because you were being dressed by somebody else's money. Your crowd was there because of somebody else's influence. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should have stayed. I'm saying you should keep your mouth shut unless there's been abuse, and I'm saying this across the board. I have always said it. Unless there's been abuse, illegalities, sexual abuse, some kind of abuse, and then you go warn the people. But and we have a lot of this on YouTube. The algorithms in a YouTube check says a lot to me whether you're right or wrong, it says a lot to me about your integrity and that you can never, ever be trusted. And here's the other piece with a betrayer. Like Judas. Judas tried to clear his conscience giving the money back. You cannot clear your conscience of betrayal in the public. Trying to get the public to cleanse you of the blood that's on your hands. It doesn't work like that. You are still guilty as charged. Because here's the thing, and I've had it happen to me. You didn't have no complaints when you were traveling, when you were eating at good restaurants, when you were buying tailor-made stuff, when you were wearing fitted shoes, when you were flying first class, flying on private planes. I'm just giving these examples. There was no problem. Now that becomes a problem. You're sitting on the couch getting a check. Some pastor's giving you a $10,000, $20,000 honorarium. You ain't got no problems. But when all of that stops, now I have a morality check. I told y'all, I ain't opening the doors no more because I'm just about finished. Now I have a morality check when the checks stop. Isn't that how it always works? Isn't that how it always works? Even in real sense, long as you were getting the checks, they abused me. I'm not saying they didn't. But now that's the cry when the checks stop and they found somebody else, maybe. I'm just saying, like this, share this. But finally, if you're going, if you have that kind of nature and you have that kind of lack of integrity where you have to betray, that's in you, you have to betray, tell it all. How did I get on a lesson of betrayal? I was talking about, but anyway, like this. Put your comments there. Tell it all. Don't just tell the negative side. Say, you know what? Now I'm gonna tell y'all some stuff, but I have to say, when I was with them, I had a ball. I must say. We traveled a lot. I never had to pull out my credit card. They were just a blessing to me. I stayed in the best hotels. I went luxury shopping. I dined on the best food, steak and lobster. We saw shows. I wore clothes that I never thought I would. All I'm saying, tell it all before you get to the grit and make it look one side, because here it is, and I'm done. Something brought you there in the first place. Tell that part. Tell that part. And admit you enjoyed it. Oh my God. We had fun. Certain things I can't even tell you. We had so much fun. I respect that. There's so much fun. You had some fun you can't share. I'm down with that. But to start the narrative, oh y'all, from a victim perspective, give me 18,121 and a half breaks. All right, I told you this was like just story time, giving you something to think about and following up on why you can, and I still hold that you will never, ever, ever, and I don't think anybody who has done it to me can ever say they have. Never, ever, ever come back. Not in this world or the one to come. Because the trust ain't there. That's why I always say when you get people's trust, you guard it like it's your life. Because once it's gone, it's done. Capuche. Capiche? Fini. Over. And all the king's horses and all the king's horsewomen can't put it back. Legitimately. And I think people know that about me, because after a while, and I have other friends who are like that, you gain that reputation. Once you cross, that's it. Don't see how I'm doing. I'm being real. I told y'all, that's why I opened the doors of this church so many times, because that's how real I don't care how you do, however you doing, that's how you doing. There is no relationship. That was destroyed. And not because of separation, because there's still people that I have mutually separated from. They cool. We just didn't vibe. We ain't vibe. They're not written off. If they text, I'll respond. If I text, they'll respond. We just ain't in that sacred space no more. That's different than betrayal. There's no room in the end. Hit the manger. All right. If you like this, leave your comments in the comment section. I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to share, I want you to follow. I know. Send it. Don't forget. See, y'all got me all amped up. Don't forget, go to the website, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com, www.wakeupglobalnetworks.com. If you feel generous to sow a seed, please do so. Nonprofit, tax exempt. That's helping our community. And don't forget, Sunday morning at 7 a.m., the Voice of Hope Connection. Until next Friday, this is D. Foster 3, reminding you, you got a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.